Welcome to UFO report number 170 of the UFO news, provided to you by UFO Buster Radio and Manny Moonraker. That's me. And if you couldn't tell already, I fucked up that intro. But hey, stuff happens. This is actually live. And honestly, they've all been live. I just don't have a set time for this shit. So I just do it and it goes. And if you're on Spreaker, the Spreaker app, Spreaker, or you go to Spreaker.com, you'll know when I'm live because you'll get a little notification like I just got right now saying that I was live, like I didn't fucking know. Yesterday, my whole thing on China, some people didn't like it. Some people were like, why? Why? Who cares about China? China. Yeah, okay, listen. Even today, the fuckers in China, they released pictures of their little rover driving on the far side of the moon. Well, shit. Come on, guys. Give the fucking people credit when it is due. They've got a rover on the moon, roving around. We are still trying to get back to the moon. They are already there. And I'm sure some people are saying, who cares about China? They're a military threat. They're going to take over the world. Products and everything. But that's not the point. We're talking about space and the moon. And right now, the rubber dickers who have a vehicle on the moon is China. So, thumbs up for China. The next story has to do with another couple of countries, right? One of them we talked about recently about an event they had back in the day. The country was New Zealand. You remember the Kaikoura lights, that incident that I tried to talk about but then got fucked up because my podcast app, recording app went haywires and kept on fucking cutting off the damn episode. And then I had to come back right before New Year's Eve and give you a play-by-play of why I thought the Kaikoura report was so freaking cool. Well, Kaikoura, or should I say New Zealand, just screwed the pooch on this one. I mean, I think so. And listen, no one has to take my word for it because nobody gives two fucks about what the Moonraker says except for the Moonraker. Now, you saw the title for this, and the image for this particular episode is linked to something that happened last year out of Chile, and that was the fuck up by the Chilean Navy regarding a UFO video that they shot back in 2014, which they put it out to the world because they couldn't explain what the fuck it was. There's a link to that article in the description. We're not going to go into too much detail because that's not what the article is about, but it's kind of like a segue. We're going to do a little bit of a segue here. My issue with the Chilean government is that they put this fucking video out, and y'all remember last January it went haywires because some technician on a helicopter, military helicopter, using a FLIR camera that they were fucking around with, basically identified an unidentified UFO, which turned out to be an airplane. But 3 years and they couldn't figure that shit out. Well, it was 4 years actually. And they had to put it out to the people. And I believe it was Metabunk who came back and said, I'm gonna shit all over you guys using Google Maps and the freaking schedules for the airplanes that were flying around the area. It was just that simple. It was just that simple. I don't think in New Zealand they got that report. Here's the article headline for you guys. I didn't even do the news intro. What the hell is going on today? It's Friday and the Moonraker wants to be done. All right, let's stop fucking around. Let's get to this. And here's a headline for this news report, which was 4.2 far crazy. Crazy New Zealand. UFO group in partnership with Chilean government sightings on the rise. Basically, what's happening here is the Chilean government has a little bit of a UFO organization, and it's investigating air reports of strange phenomena across New Zealand. And apparently, these sightings are on the increase. There's a director by the name of Suzanne Hansen, who is part of a group called UFO CUS New Zealand. And they told this newspaper that the link to this article is in the description. They told these guys basically that the sightings are out of control. There's actually evidence from data they're receiving that there's actually corridors and hotspots in New Zealand. And many of the activities seem to be associated with seismic events. She actually made a bunch of these comments during the 40th anniversary of the Kaikoura lights. Yeah, we talked about that. December 31st, 1978. The shit got crazy in New Zealand. I mean, what more can you ask for? That's a perfect place. Basically, the group is, looking to investigate what they call anomalous aerial phenomena. And they're basically, kind of like a scientific aviation body that was set up by the Chilean government. Wow. And now, apparently, the Chilean government group here, they believe, and they're following a theory, that UFO sightings are associated with seismic activity, and that's the link that they're investigating. Listen, I said it in the beginning. This makes no sense for anyone to involve the Chilean government in anything. Like, I would not have this group, the dudes flying the helicopters, or anyone in the Chilean military at this point, I wouldn't have them give me an enema. Because they probably fucked that up. I'm sure that's a painful thing, too. Very delicate. But I wouldn't have them hand out any enema to anyone, not even themselves. I mean, they destroyed the whole military in one foul insertion. The truth is, there's a bad track record here. Why the people in New Zealand are worried about UFOs, and allegedly the string of events that's been happening over the last several years, I think they reported about 30 UFO sightings and events. Why would they go to someone who publicly fucked the pooch? The UFO pooch. Not a good idea, New Zealand. Not a good idea. Now let's just get this straight. Not everyone, I'm not saying every single country, everyone else in the world has got the pulse on UFOs, but there are certain countries that we know, in our heart of hearts, know the truth. Like, if you people in New Zealand would at least watch TV. I mean, just look at TV. Look at what gets put out on TV on YouTube. And then tell me what countries you think you should be going to visit and saying, hey, we've got a probing problem. And every time the earth shakes, the gods of UFOs come out of the ground. Not too many countries out there can give you an answer to that, except for the ones that are hiding the big secret. And it's easy to tell which those are. United States. You know, these countries, UK, these countries are the ones that have the info, right? Incident after incident after incident, claiming that these never really happened, but yet they're running programs on the side, in the dark, behind closed doors, under buildings, under sand, in the desert, because there is something going on. No fucks given. They can't continue to lie to people and think that we're too dumb to figure it out. So, if you need an enema, don't go to Chile. If you need UFO expertise, if you need someone that's going to help you with your crazy-ass seismic sightings, don't go to Chile. If you're hungry, you want some good food, some beaches, go to Chile. I'm telling you. From the pictures, it looks great. I've never been there myself, but it might be the place to go. And honestly, there's a lot of pictures out of Chile and South America, a lot of countries where there's a lot of unexplained, crazy-ass aerial phenomena, as they like to say in this article. And maybe those are the places to go and get a good probing. But not an enema, because it might be too painful for that. That is basically the story for today. I need you guys to really think about this. As a coach or, Monday quarterbacking ufologist, you've got to know that if a country publicly screws up an investigation, that's probably not the place you want to go. Now, there might be a gap here. Maybe the people in New Zealand never got the reports. Maybe they have no idea that airplanes are UFOs in that country. That basically until somebody in another country tracks down their air traffic, that they become identified. And that's from the military and several air traffic control things that were watching the sky at the time. But you can read that link in the description because we talked about it way back when last year. But it's a hot mess. I wouldn't. I'm sorry, Chile. I'm sorry. I know I'm peeing in your cornflakes, but yeah, I could not ever endorse them, at least not for the foreseeable future. The other thing in the story is the seismic activity. And I know we've seen this a lot, especially seismic activity and volcanoes. How people seem to think that these either attract or are points of entry and exit for UFOs. What do you think about that? Send me a DM. Do you think earthquakes are really the cause of UFOs? I mean, think about it. That could be. Maybe they're hiding underground somewhere, and when they leave, they cause earthquakes or seismic activity. Who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? But if you think so, let me know. Hit me up. Send me something. Submit a DM, email, something. Let me know what's going on. What are your thoughts? If you haven't already, follow the podcast on Facebook, Instagram, on Twitters, but above all, hit like on this thing. Hit like and share. There is nothing better than liking and sharing a podcast or a type of work that's done by a creator like myself. Yes, people on ufology do not take me seriously, but guess what? I don't take them seriously either, those bunch of fuckers. Anyway, this is Manny Mooricker. I'm checking out. I'll see you next week, because I'll be back for more of this crazy ufology bullshit. I mean, fun stuff. Incredible information that I like to share. And if you get a chance, the article on the New Zealand-Chilean connection actually has some great information on sightings that happened in New Zealand that the Chilean government group is going to be investigating. Good luck with that one. I don't see any fucking answers coming from that. I'm sorry. I got to get off here because I'm starting to ramble. The more upset I get that people in New Zealand have no idea that what happened last year. It's a hot mess. You guys have a good weekend, and ciao.